Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. You know, we've seen many conflicts, and let me tell you, relationship issues are universal. Everybody's got them. Whether it's with your partner, your family, your coworkers, or even that guy you always argue with on Facebook, conflict is just a part of life. I'm going to give you 7 simple, actionable steps to resolve those relationship issues like a pro. So buckle up because we're about to get real. Chapter 1. Create a safe space for communication. Now, before you even think about diving into the nitty-gritty of your disagreement, you gotta set the stage for a productive conversation. Think of it like building a house. You can't put up the walls without a solid foundation. So, how do you build that foundation for communication? First and foremost, you gotta make sure both parties feel safe to express themselves. This ain't about winning an argument or proving the other person wrong. It's about understanding and resolving the issue. So check your ego at the door. That means no yelling, no blaming, no name-calling. And for crying out loud, no interrupting. Interrupting is the fastest way to shut down communication and escalate the conflict. Would you want to be talked over every time you tried to express yourself? Didn't think so. Instead of coming out swinging, try starting the conversation with something like, I feel like we're not on the same page and I want to understand your side better. See how that immediately shifts the tone? It shows the other person that you're approaching the conversation with empathy and a genuine desire to listen. Remember, you're on the same team here, folks. You're partners in life, in work, whatever it may be. Act like it. Create that safe space where you can both communicate openly and honestly without fear of judgment or attack. Chapter 2. Listen actively and empathetically. Alright, so you've created a safe space for communication. Now it's time to put those listening skills to the test. And I'm not talking about just hearing the words coming out of their mouth while you're mentally preparing your rebuttal. I'm talking about truly listening to understand. Think about it. How many times have you been so caught up in your own head, in your own side of the story, that you completely missed the point the other person was trying to make? We've all been there. But active listening means being present in the moment, focusing on their words, their tone, their body language, and most importantly, their emotions. It's about putting yourself in their shoes, trying to see the situation from their perspective. Even if you don't agree with their point of view, you can still validate their feelings. Empathy, my friends, is the bridge that can span even the widest chasms of disagreement. Here's a little trick to make sure you're really listening. Repeat back what you hear them saying. Not word for word, but the gist of it. Something like, so what you're saying is, you feel disrespected when I don't consult you before making plans, is that right? This does 2 things. It shows them that you're truly paying attention, and it gives them a chance to clarify if you've misunderstood anything. It's a simple but powerful technique to ensure everyone's on the same page. Chapter 3. Express yourself honestly but calmly. Now, listening is crucial, but don't forget, you have a voice too. And it's important to use it to express your own feelings and needs in a healthy and constructive way. But here's the catch. You gotta do it without pointing fingers or playing the blame game. Remember, you're not trying to win an argument here. You're trying to find a solution that works for everyone involved, and that starts with taking ownership of your own emotions. Instead of saying, you always make me feel like this, try, I feel hurt and disrespected when this happens. See the difference? The first statement is an accusation, while the second statement is a vulnerable expression of your own feelings. It takes the focus off of blaming the other person and puts it on the impact their actions have on you. Another helpful tip is to use I statements instead of you statements. You statements tend to put people on the defensive, while I statements feel more like an invitation to understand. It's about expressing yourself assertively, but with respect and empathy for the other person's perspective. Chapter 4. Focus on the problem, not the person. Alright, let's talk about one of the biggest relationship killers out there, personal attacks. When we're angry or hurt, it's easy to lash out and say things we don't mean. We start bringing up past mistakes, dredging up old baggage, and before we know it, the conversation has spiraled completely out of control. But here's the thing. Attacking the person instead of the problem is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It only makes things worse. Instead of focusing on who's right or wrong, who's to blame or who started it, Try to keep the conversation solution-oriented. Ask yourselves, what's the real issue here? What are we trying to solve? And how can we work together to find a solution that works for both of us? This shifts the focus from assigning blame to finding a common goal. Remember, you're on the same team here. Instead of tearing each other down, try to build each other up. Focus on finding a solution that benefits both of you. Chapter 5. Take responsibility. Now this is where things get real, folks. Taking responsibility. It's not always easy, is it? It's human nature to want to deflect blame, to justify our actions, to make excuses for our behavior. But the truth is, taking responsibility is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. It's about acknowledging your part in the conflict, even if it's just a small part. Maybe you didn't start the argument, but maybe your tone was a little harsh. Maybe you didn't intend to hurt their feelings, but your words had that effect. Owning up to your mistakes, even the small ones, shows the other person that you're willing to be accountable for your actions. And let me tell you, a little bit of humility goes a long way. It takes courage to admit when you're wrong, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do in a relationship. It shows that you're more invested in resolving the issue than you are in being right. So, next time you're in the middle of a disagreement, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I take responsibility for in this situation? You might be surprised at how much this simple question can de-escalate the conflict and open the door to resolution. Chapter 6. Find common ground. Alright, so you've had your say, you've listened to their perspective, and you've both taken responsibility for your actions. Now it's time to find some common ground. Because no matter how different your viewpoints may seem, I guarantee you there's always some common ground to be found. Remember, you're in this relationship for a reason, right? Whether it's love, friendship, family ties, or even just a shared goal, there's something that connects you. So instead of focusing on your differences, try to focus on what you agree on. Maybe you both value honesty and respect. Maybe you both want the relationship to be stronger. Whatever it is, identify those shared values and use them as a foundation for moving forward. It's like building a bridge across a river. You need those strong pillars of common ground to support the weight of your differences. Here's a helpful phrase. I hear what you're saying, and while I don't necessarily agree with everything, I do agree that we both want what's best for this relationship. See how that immediately shifts the tone from adversarial to collaborative? Chapter 7. Follow up and keep growing. Here's the thing about relationships. They're not a one-and-done deal. Resolving conflict isn't about checking a box and moving on. It's an ongoing process that requires effort and commitment from both parties. Think of it like tending a garden. You can't just plant the seeds and walk away expecting them to flourish. You gotta water them, fertilize them, pull the weeds, and give them plenty of sunshine. Relationships are the same way. They need constant nurturing and attention to thrive. So once you've gone through the steps of resolving a conflict, don't just sweep it under the rug and pretend it never happened. Check in with each other a few days or a week later and see how things are going. Ask, how are you feeling about this now? Is there anything else we need to address? Remember, conflict, when handled constructively, can be an incredible catalyst for growth. It's an opportunity to learn more about each other, to strengthen your communication skills, and to deepen your connection. So embrace the challenges, learn from your mistakes, and keep growing together. Relationships are a journey, and conflict is just a part of it. By using these 7 steps, you can turn challenges into opportunities for deeper connection and understanding. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share this video with someone who might need it, because we all deserve healthy, happy relationships. And let me know in the comments which step resonated the most with you, or if you have any tips of your own. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.